What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll analyze 3 final circles in Warzone, the absolute endgame, and show you how I usually win and what my thought process is like. Maybe you already managed to get to the endgame but have never secured a win, or you just want to get better at playing out these final circles more consistently. In any case, this video should help, and I'm sure that by the end of the video, you'll have a better understanding of how to play out these situations and maximize your chances of winning. By the way, some of these games are from past seasons, so circle timing and such might be a little different, but this video is about the bigger picture, the strategies and the principles behind playing out these final circles, and that stays absolutely the same. That being said, make sure you are subscribed, because if this video series is doing well, then there will be a follow-up with new footage from the latest season. Alright, let's jump into game number 1. Alright, we're in Capital. I just got a kind of a power position up on a rooftop. I can basically see everybody around me, and now the new circles are known, so I just pinged something. I'm probably not gonna go there, yeah, just making my way from house to house, checking out this building, because at this stage of the game there's like so many people just chilling in buildings, right? And so you gotta check your corners very, very carefully. Right now, I had the option to just immediately go into the circle, but I want to wait. The reason why I want to wait is because at this stage of the game, everybody obviously wants to go into the next circle over here or anywhere inside. But since the gas has not closed in yet, like even this house or somebody still rotating in from that side, or somebody in the upstairs of the house that we're in, all of these positions are still, it's very likely that people still might be there. We have 13 people left, so at least 1 or 2 people could definitely still be in that area. If you wait then and allow the gas to close in a little bit, you can kind of eliminate those possibilities, and only then you cross into the new circle. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm checking my corners. Somebody flew in right there. I don't know if you saw. And right here, I hear something. So somebody started to move. Anyways, as expected, there was still somebody in the building, or he came rotating in. But the fact of the matter is the same. We laser him, get him out of the game. If we didn't catch this guy, we would have walked to this house, and at that exact moment, this guy would have lasered us in the back. And then it was like perfect Call of Duty timing. We just crossed this park into the new house. We get shot in the back. Nothing we could do, right? But there are things you can do. You can kind of anticipate that somebody might still be there. So what do? You wait until the gas covers these houses. Now you can check this open space, and that's the moment where you move. Anyways, I'm not in a rush now. We're in the new circle. I see the barrel of the gun sticking out. Poor timing on the grenade. By the way, this PPSH, I picked it up from the ground. I thought I could shoot through that. Anyways, not the cleanest engagement there. I think I got a loadie that only had an assault rifle and a pistol, so I swapped this PPSH out. I picked it up somewhere. Anyways, we missed kind of an important moment, and that's here. While we were in the house, I had a 2-second look at the new circle. So this is the circle where everybody needs to go to. So what are we looking at? We have 9 people left in this game. We know somebody's here, and we know that there's a king in this, or a big game bounty in this area. So that's 2 of 8. So where are the others? Now the most likely, and this is what you think when you see a circle like this. 30% of this new circle is covered in water, so nobody can be here. So it's either that people were already here at the houses, or more likely, most people are moving in on this side. So this circle is going to collapse mostly in this area, meaning that if we move in a straight line over here like so, there's a good possibility that not only this guy can laser us, but there's a lot of people who can see us, not to mention this house. We need to come up with a solution here to prevent getting killed. So what I do is I check my right and I make kind of a classic rotation where you rotate past the gas. We see this guy. He's moving straight for the house, and this is kind of this whole pinwheel rotation principle that I think was coined by Iceman Isaac. Shout out to him. The principle is the same, where we are able to scoop up a player who's moving straight into the circle, and we are able to just flank him completely, even if it's just for a couple of meters while we're moving into the new circle. The reason I wanted to go to this specific spot is because I want to minimize my exposure. So here I'm still checking this house. We know somebody was in that house over there. We saw the ping. But this is it. I wanted to dip behind this wall here, because here we have the cover of the wall. All those people collapsing onto this circle, onto this shoreline, we are out of their vision. So that's great, right? Because first of all, people can't shoot us, but also people can't even gather intel on us. We will just walk along this wall and nobody will even know we're there. This is hugely important, especially in kind of the final circles of Warzone. All right, I move up, and now I don't even have to deal with the right side. I don't even have to check the right side because I can't get shot from there. And I can focus my attention on this house in front of us, and there's a good chance that somebody's in there. So I'll just, and right here, we see somebody else. Now, and I'm just chilling here. Why am I staying in this spot in particular? Because most people would have probably taken the house here. But the reason I'm not doing that, it's because at this stage of the game, well, first of all, this house is not even in the new circle, right? But most importantly, at this stage of the game, I don't want to be in a house. Everybody will suspect somebody to be in the house, including me. I think somebody is likely in that house. That's why I'm ADSing and prioritizing this in whatever I'm scanning. And even if we want to take the house, then we are at a pretty significant disadvantage, because this is a two-story building. Somebody might already be ADSing the stairs or the door or whatever, so we don't even have time to reliably clear out this building. We only have about 30 seconds to make it into the new circle. So that's why I kind of prefer to be in this spot where, you know, not all eyes are on us. And what usually happens when you're in a building is the moment you have to get out, somebody who's already in the circle will just, it's just easy pickings, and you get lasered when you jump out of the window or whatever. All right, so I'm checking the house. I check my left side. I already killed somebody there. The fact that I killed somebody there means, actually, this could also give you intel. The fact that somebody was over here, the guy we killed, and he was looking in this direction all the time, that tells you that there's probably not anybody else in that area, unless in the meantime somebody must have taken his place. But I think it's unlikely. So we can be sure at this point that this angle is kind of safe. We don't need to deal with this area because we kind of have cover behind this rock, and all we need to worry about mostly is this house. And there you go, somebody's in that house. And the best perk in the game, Combat Scout, comes into play, and we just it's just an easy wall bang. So what do? I move back. I move into the new circle. So I set up the deployable cover here just to kind of minimize my exposure to whoever might be looking in this direction. I feel kind of safe. And that's also kind of a big point. At this stage in the game, it's not about hunting for kills, right? Of course I can peek here. Of course I can try to... If I'm going to peek this head glitch, I'm definitely going to see other players. I'm definitely going to be able to get more kills here. But that is not the purpose of this stage of the game when you want to win. Because most of the work is going to be done for us, basically. Most of the work is going to be done for us by people who run into each other and who have not worked on their positioning enough. And yeah, they're just going to get in sloppy gunfights. They're just going to finish each other off. At this stage of the game, we need to think about what is the best rotation. What's the best rotation that we can create for ourselves? And in this new circle, how do we enter this circle with the best cards in our hand? So what I do right when the new circle is known, I take my cluster strike and I throw it here. So this cluster strike does a couple of things. This cluster strike basically stalls everything in this area. This creates chaos. People have to stay in the building. They can't rotate early because that's usually what you want to do, right? You want to move into the new circle as fast as you can and then wait for other players to come into the new circle. And they can't do that because there's a cluster strike going off and the cluster strike is fairly unreliable. You don't know where it hits. Your safest bet is just to stay in that building over there. There's another thing where if the cluster strike lands here, we can just make our rotation. And this building is all shaking and it's kind of hard to basically shoot us because the rotation I plan to take is this one. Also, we are preventing basically those plays that we can't really hedge against, the plays that we can't really expect. Now, if somebody just rushes into the gas here, into the new circle with a gas mask, that's something that's really hard to predict and can catch you, even very, very good players, off guard. And that's what we're preventing here. So this guy didn't know what to do. He's like, do I run into the cluster? Do I go left? Do I go right? We actually crack one in the house and also ping another shield in the house. So we damaged 2 people. I'm still checking. I still want to get some intel. Maybe somebody's moving. Now we're looking already at a 3-man situation. And the gun, this is the perfect situation, right? Gunshots go off. They've damaged each other. It's like textbook third party. I kind of, for some reason I can't hit him, but I finish it like this. So yeah, kind of the keys to victory here is like basic positioning, minimizing our exposure to enemies, using the cluster strike effectively, and then basically setting up the third party. That's how you mostly win solos. All right, so this next game, this second game ends on airfield. Believe it or not, I have 0 kills. The reason is this was actually a crazy game. But every time we got into a gunfight, I spotted some other player who was about to get into that gunfight and try the third party. So every time I kind of chose to abandon the gunfight, improve my positioning, because it was just kind of too risky at that moment. Because by now everybody kind of knows that solos is a lot about third partying, especially with kind of the Vanguard meta. Not a lot of people use silencers on their SMGs, so it's easier than ever to swoop in and just third party any gunfight. Anyways, we are at the edge of at the far end of the airstrip here, and the reason I choose to be here is because what we're basically doing here is, I still think that somebody is around here. He might have gotten finished by somebody else or rotated away. I think he already got killed by somebody else. But I'm still checking this angle because people might still cross the strip. And if they do, then this is the shortest distance, right? So people could still make a gas mask play towards me. So that's basically the angle I'm checking on this side. And on the other side, I'm constantly, on the one hand, watching my audio cues, see if I hear somebody. And by staying here, we effectively only have to check this and we only have to check this. So what is that? That's like a 120 degrees a vision. Instead, what is the alternative? We move into airfield. We take position, maybe in one of the hangars. But let's say you're in a hangar. Then you have this to cover, the gate at the front, the gate at the back, and then there's even a door from the stairs. It's so many angles that you can get caught from. Not only that, you don't know where other players are coming from. So this really is not a good idea in this situation. As I often advise, move into every new circle and stay on the outside, because by staying on the outside, you kind of minimize your exposure to enemies. And not only that, you not only minimize your exposure to enemies, but you also minimize the area that you need to scan by yourself. The next circle is about to be known. I'm still checking that right hand side, checking my left. I could also go up on one of these tents, by the way. That's a completely viable strategy. But there is a little bit, it's a little bit more dangerous, or the risk of getting lasered is a little bit more there. Anyways, this circle pulls towards us, which is good. We're looking at a 4-man situation. If it's a 4-man situation, you kind of want to hang back and watch and wait for the 3-man situation. Once it's a 3-man situation, this is the moment you kind of want to take an active position and you want to prepare yourself already for to third party. I don't know how this guy saw us, but he thought I don't know, but he just threw a precision airstrike at us. All right, 3-man situation. Somebody on the far end of the circle got lasered. Might have been the guy who threw the airstrike. Maybe he just missed. I don't know. Before he got into the gunfight. So we see the guy on the far end. He was sniping. He already took a shot at us. But I don't want to commit here, because as soon as we commit to one side, the other guy's coming in. And we also have a visual on the second guy. Again, I'm not committing. So by now, we know that there is somebody over here, and we just spotted a player outside of the gate over here. If we push this, we get pushed by this guy. And if we commit to the gunfight on this side, this guy, the circle's so small, right? So then this guy's definitely going to swoop in, or he has all the time in the world to take a better position on us. So this really is not the play, and this game is a good example of how you can keep both players at bay, how you can not commit to neither gunfights, and instead you wait and you set up the third party. You make them fight first, and that's when you swoop in. So I see him again. I confirm his position. He could have moved. I check the left-hand side again. Nothing on heartbeat. And now he shot at me again, which means I have again confirmed his position. Now what I need to do is I need to check this side, because this we don't have. It's been a while since we've seen that guy. And that's when they start to fight. This is exactly what I want. I was a little bit too late to actually be there for the third party. Of course, you want to swoop in the moment they start shooting, but in this case, that wasn't really possible. But this is good enough, right? We have intel on him. We are deeper in the new circle, or closer to the new circle than he is. We have the drop on him. He doesn't know where we are. He's still looking to the far side of the tents, or he's still looking at the far side of the strip at the tents. He thinks I was there. All right, I got a couple of shots off. This is good. He needs to replay. I'm checking. He ran into that hangar, probably. But I need to check this left-hand side, because in all likelihood, the guy is here, right? But there is a chance that this guy is rotating here, that he makes a gas mask play. It's what I would have done. So that's why I'm checking that side. I check again here, the hangar. Another peek. This wasn't perfect, by the way, because I could have minimized my exposure, I think, by peeking to the left, making sure I can't get shot from the right, and vice versa. But anyways, this is the situation. I hear the guy behind me. And we get the finish here. So, this looks simple, but what I did here was basically I checked the corners. And when I hear him behind me, what I don't do is at that moment, I just stop dead in my tracks and then I kind of turn around and try to laser him. That's when he has the drop on us. Instead, I move back behind cover. Maybe we dupe him in a way that he thinks that, oh shit, he didn't see us. This is the moment I need to kind of commit to the gunfight. We can shoot him in the back. And when I'm behind cover is when I re-peek and we get the win. So yeah. That's basically a situation where you just take it, you really take it easy. You have all the intel, you know exactly where all the players are. You confirm their locations on multiple occasions. You know, that we just won that with intel, not with gun skills, not with movement. That was just by playing it slow and steady and forcing them to fight, putting a couple of shots in them, controlling the space there. All right, third gameplay. We are on factory roof. The roof gives us a good vantage spot here to basically see who is around us. We have a self-revive, very important. If I don't have a self-revive here, I would not have done this. But you know, it's always kind of a risk-reward type of situation where, yes, you are exposing yourself as well by being on the roof, but the fact that you take an active position. By the way, I lasered this guy because I was kind of thinking the guy we shot before, he was already checking that corner, so there must be somebody else. But yeah, when you have a self-revives, then you can kind of take these risks. I'm forced to move to the next roof, which isn't bad because the circle is landing here anyways. So this would have been the kind of the likely rotation. But that cluster was coming from the high ground, or not the high ground, from somewhere from this side. So it's a 5-man situation, right? It's a 5-man situation. I lasered this guy. 4-man situation. Checking all the angles. Maybe there's more people closing in on this area. And all the while I'm checking if not somebody is still in those buildings.
Where are these guys?
I'm searching.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest threat.
Alright, and I say this is probably the biggest threat. I spot him. And we get the finish. Why is that the biggest threat? Because when you look at the new circle, we should still be safe right on the edge of the roof here. So this part of the building is still safe. Then there is some low ground here. And then there's this, like the majority of the circle is the high ground, and they can basically, the high ground here can basically hold anybody who's coming out of factory. The most likely position for people to be in is probably factory. There's like 3-4 stories here, and by shooting this guy, this was actually the guy who threw the cluster, but by shooting this guy and knowing that nobody else is on this high ground here, it makes our rotation so much easier. As we will see in a minute. I'm checking if we have a gas mask because we're probably making a gas mask play here. Gas masks are so important in the final circle. Alright, this might look risky, but first I peek, I see nobody, and then I have the liberty or the freedom. I'm safe to stand up here because I know that all of this high ground is now safe. Nobody is there, which means that by now we can deduce that the only 2 players, again, we have a 3-man situation. The only 2 players must be in the building or right below me. I wait for the new circle. I see where the new circle jumps. And what better way than to take that position of the high ground and wait for those guys to come out of factory. They both laser me. They both laser me at this point. They were actually both looking at me. And indeed, I do have the strongest position. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone more into the gas and then just played it even more passively. But it doesn't really matter. We have the cover here. We breathe a little gas, and I don't even need to replay it. I do not even need to replay it. I can just put shots in this guy because they are horribly out of position because they were both in that building. And even though they knew what the new circle was going to be like, they stayed there. They should have worked on their positioning, and they should have been proactive about their positioning, but instead they put themselves in a position where they could get horribly outpositioned and held. Not only are they in the building, they're on the low ground, and they are on the far side of the circle.
And this is how you third party. Well, I don't even have to do anything.
And it's basically easy at that moment
I don't even have to.
because it was again a third party situation, but they did the work. They did the work here. Not only are they shooting me when they actually need to move. One guy's in the gas. One guy's in the gas over here. The other one, he's moving into the circle, but he's getting shot by me. I don't even need to replay it because he doesn't have the time to shoot me. And he's getting shot in the back. So yeah, this is another situation where with positioning you win these games. You absolutely win these games, especially with this guy. I didn't even have to. Actually, I could have just let him die in the gas. Probably I could have let him die in the gas. I didn't even have to fire a shot at the end. This was all just positioning. All right, that's it. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe there's a situation you would have played out differently. If so, do let me know. I love to brainstorm about these things. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.